Good morning, YouTube. This is Johnny. Thought I'd make a video because, hey, it's Monday. This is a Monday Reads. It is Monday, February the 12th, 2024. It is 11:03, late morning. The sun is shining here in southwestern Michigan. And yeah, I always feel somewhat better when I know the sun is visible and the sky is not black. Wouldn't it be kind of horrible to wake up every day and it would be black out? No light. Sounds like what it would be in the abyss. So yeah, I am, my wife is at a ho-ho meeting. What that is all these nurses get together and they just talk at some restaurant and share about their lives and things like that. And I am writing in my diary, as I always do. I'm a diary writer. I'm not a professional writer. I just write because I've been doing it since I was 17, 18 years old. I'm on page 132 for the year 2024. And I thought I would just show you what is on my to-be read pile or what I am reading or want to read. Those who are book people know sometimes you get to a place where you just don't know what to read or you just don't feel like reading anything. And I think I've mentioned that to you over the years. I've been making videos. People call it a reading slump. I don't get a reading slump. I always read no matter what state of being I'm in. I try to find things that are not so taxing on my brain. And one thing, yesterday I didn't know what to read. So I try to read something that's, well, usually I try to find something nonfiction. If I can't find something nonfiction, I'll read like something that's contemplative that I can meditate on. So I've been reading this, General Directions for a Comfortable Walking with God by Robert Bolton. This is a 17th century English Puritan spiritual classic. So I kind of read this because I can read this and I can just ponder it and meditate upon it. And whereas, you know, I did try to read a little of this. Now this is something that's very taxing mentally. I've been reading this, Daniel Tutt, How to Read Like a Parasite, Why the Left Got High on Nietzsche. Now I did read a little bit of this just before the Super Bowl came on, early, late evening. That's very taxing, and so I kind of dozed off a couple of times, but I want to finish reading this. But this is taxing. This is more contemplative, reading some 17th century Puritan spirituality, contemplative. And another thing I want to get back into reading is on my to-be read pile is Nietzsche, the Aristocratic Rebel, Intellectual Biography and Critical Balance Sheet by Domenico Larsardo. This I need to get back into, but like I said, you have to be in a certain kind of mental state, intellectual state, fully awake, not feeling lethargic or, you know, blowing out of the water or anything. But I want to get back into reading this. Another thing that is not so taxing to read, and I need to get back into reading, is The End of Solitude, Selected Essays in Culture and Society by William der Risky. I can't pronounce the name. Now, I could have read this yesterday. I could read an essay. But I probably will maybe, what's the Monday? Maybe this week I'll probably read a couple of essays out of here. as far as what I've been reading in the mornings, this morning I was going to read The Emergence of Evangelical Spirituality, The Age of Edwards, Newton, and Whitefield, and the Classics of Western Spirituality. I'm on the section on the Holy Spirit in this book. I haven't really got into this. I've been reading mainly my Puritan reprints, and also I've been reading The Decades by Henry Bullinger. And I was reading the other day on the 6th precept of the 10 Commandments, thou shalt not murder. So I read this in the mornings, and then I've been reading and will be reading throughout the year, even though I'm halfway through it, is New Testament Theology by Eckhard J. Schnabel. Yeah, I've read almost 600 pages in this. Really enjoying it, getting blessed. So I read those, Reformation theology, New Testament theology, 17th century English Puritan spirituality, and also as far as secular reading, what I'm reading besides nonfiction, I've been reading these essays by Claudio Magris in journaling. This is nonfiction, so I can read these essays. I've read almost 200 pages in this. Really enjoying his essays. I haven't gotten back into reading American Nietzsche, The History of an Icon and Ideas. This is another book I can get into, written by Jennifer Ratner Rosenhagen. I need to get back into reading this. I read about 100 pages in this. These I have not really even started, but I keep them in the living room on my table to be read pile. Is Kin by Miljenko Jerjovic, I can't pronounce it. Translated from the Croatian by Russell Scott Valentino. This I want to get back into reading or start reading. It's around, how many pages? I think it's around about 900 pages. I want to get back in, well, not get back into, but I should start reading this. This is on my to be read pile. This is also on my to be read pile. I got this along in my reading of The Aristocrat Rebel on Nietzsche, is Georg Lukacs, Destruction of Reason. This is over about 860 pages. I want to get into reading this. It says Destruction of Reason is Georg Lukacs' transient criticism of certain strands of philosophy after Marx and the role they played in the rise of National Socialism, Germany's path to Hitler, the spear of philosophy, as he put it, starting with the revolution of 1848. His analysis spans post-Hegelian philosophy and sociology. The great premises Arthur Schopenhauer, neo-Hegelians such as Leopold von Ranke and Wilhelm Detheny, and the pneumatologists Karl Jaspers, Sartre, and others, and for a share of criticism, but the principal targets are Nietzsche and Martin Heidegger. Through these thinkers, he shows an unsparing analysis that, with almost no exception, the post-Hegelian tradition prepared the ground for fascist thought. So that is something that you have to be fully awake and fully alert to read. Another book I want to get reading this month and maybe next month is Attila Bartis Tranquility, translated from the Hungarian by Imre Goldstein. I have been reading his novel, The End. So once I finish this one, I've read about 400 pages in this. I want to read his other one, Tranquility. So I got these two to read. A might to be read pile. I have been reading also, this is Monday Reads, where I'll be reading, I still have been reading A Radical History of the World by Neil Faulkner. I've read around 400 pages in this. I'm almost done with this novel, The Valley of the Fallen by Carlos Rojas, translated from the Spanish by Edith Grossman. This I'll probably finish. I finished that Blueprints of the Afterlife last night after I watched the Super Bowl. I finished that. And so I'll probably finish this today. And then I want to finish reading, at least this month, or at least by next month, is Lies in Sorcery by Elsa Morante. I've read around here about 600 pages in this. I got some books in the mail that I told you I was going to get. I ordered these books from Amazon. And this book is very popular in library thing. When I cataloged this, but everybody in my interesting library that I subscribe to in library thing had this. It's a classic Italian novel that's translated by Michael F. Moore. It's called The Betrothed by, I can't pronounce, Alessandro Manzelli. Now this is it's almost like, it looks like the timeless masterpiece from Manzelli, the father of modern Italian literature, in its first New English translation in 50 years, hailed as a landmark literary occasion by certain writers. This writer here in the back, I can't pronounce her name. She says she really highly recommended it. I used to have her novels, that writer, but I don't. So I got this in the mail, The Betrothed. This is a modern library edition. And then I got in the mail, I like reading about art history, especially art in the late 40s and 50s and 60s in New York City, the abstract movement, the whole, what was going on in New York City. And this is what I got. Amazon was selling this for $40, and then they dropped it to 50% off, and I bought it. The Slit, New York City Street That Changed American Art Forever. Robert Indiana, Ellsworth Kelly, Agus Martin, James Rosenquist, Delphine Sayering, Lenore Tawney, and Jack Ungerman by Prudence Pfeiffer. Yeah, I like reading biography, especially of art, art history. I never heard of these painters, but I want to read this because I like reading about, like I said, artists, and it has nice photos in it. Yeah, I don't know when I'll get around to reading this, but I like reading about the New York City art movement and artists and things like that. So I look forward to reading this. As you know, if you watch my video, I collect biographies on artists. I have tons of them, writers, poets. But this is my newest one to throw on the heap. So yeah, The Slit, New York City Street That Changed American Art Forever by Prudence Pfeiffer. I got The Betrothed in the mail. I wish I could pronounce the names, but that's the name. I don't know what year he lived. It says here he was born in 1785 and he died in 1873. Is best known for his novel The Betrothed, which ranks among the masterpieces of world literature. It was first published in 1827, then in 1842 in a revised edition. Mazzoni was also a poet, prolific essayist, and playwright. In his life and in his writings, he was committed to the cause of Italian independence and the foregoing modern identity, Italian identity, culture, and language. So yeah, The End of Solitude, I want to read it. I should read this maybe this afternoon. Like I said, I'm kind of out of it, so I'm not sure exactly what I'll read, but I have all these on my to-be-read pile in the living room. Yeah, I got this on my to-be-read pile, you know. And then I got, you know, the American Nietzsche on my to-be-read pile, and journalings, travel essays by Magris. And if I get in the contemplative mood and I can't really focus on anything except what's in front of me, General Directions for Comfortable Walking with God by Robert Bolton. I don't know about getting into New Testament theology, maybe tomorrow morning. I definitely want to get back into reading Bullinger's Decades for morning devotions. I did want to finish reading Lies and Sorcery by Elsa Morante, and I'll finish this week. Valley of the Vision by Carlos Rojas. Really enjoying reading The Radical History of the World by Neil Faulkner. Even it's kind of depressing. Start reading this, Tranquility by Attila Bartis, when I finish his novel, The End. I don't know when I'll get into Destruction of Reason by Georg Lukacs. This is translated by Enzo Traverso. Oh, translated by Peter Palmer. Yeah, it has big print. It's not small print, but this is a mind feast, something that you have to really focus on. And I really want to get into reading this year. This thing over, like I said, it's almost 900 pages, this thing. So I got all these books in the living room stacked in front of my reading chair that haunt me. I can't put them down on the lower level. Every time I pick them up to put some down on the lower level, I said, no, I want to read them. I want to get into them. I want to get back into reading Nietzsche, the Aristocratic Rebel. I was really enjoying this. It demands some thinking, but it's not that hard to read if you focus. So I got a lot to read. So that all these books just stacked there on my reading table to be read pile. And it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 books that I got to read when I get in the proper mental, intellectual state of being. But this morning I'm reading General Directions for Comfortable Walking with God by Robert Bolton. Drinking coffee, writing in my diary, and this is a Monday, and yeah, so that's what's going on here in my reading world. The books I want to read, or I'm reading, or trying to finish, and I got books coming into the month. Now I got books coming in March. I got books coming in May. I always have books on pre-order, and I'm always finding stuff. So I hope you're doing well on this first It's not the first Monday of the month. But anyway, I just thought I'd show you what's on my to-be-read pile. Monday reads, writing in my diary, reading Puritan spirituality, drinking coffee, enjoying the sunshine, and just drifting here in the hermit hut. So I'll close this vocal performance, this burst of reality, spontaneous verbalage. So hope you're having a good day, have a good reading week. I still got used books down the lower level from thrift stores I haven't shown in a video. I'll show those sometime in the future. I want to get around to thrift stores here where we live, but I have to watch the dog. I can't leave the house. If Carol's not here, I have to stay here with the dog, because if Ollie is left alone, he starts howling and crying. He can't be left alone. But today, our son, our oldest son, that's his dog, Ollie, they're coming back from New Orleans. So either they'll pick him up tonight or tomorrow morning, and then I can just feel free to wander around the local thrift stores and look for used books to add to the book collection, the library. Well, it's going on 21 minutes. I hope you're all doing well. Thank you for the new subscribers. Thank you for your comments. Forgive me for mispronunciation of names and for slurring words and just being, I wish I had a golden tongue, but I don't. So once again, hope you're all doing well. May the Lord bless. Until next time, bye.